You know what? It's kind of hard to make stuff. Sometimes it's way easier to just stay in bed and watch YouTube videos. Hey, Apple Computers is, in modern times, an industrial pioneer, although it maintains a sort of controversial reputation. I mean, when you sell a desktop stand for $1,000 while buying competing parts from Chinese corporations with underpaid workers, it's bound to happen. Many criticize Apple for the large disparity between the price of their products on the market and the production cost. But the fact is, no one else could quite make an iPhone.
Today, we're introducing 3 revolutionary products of this class. The first one is a widescreen iPod with touch controls. The second is a revolutionary mobile phone. The third is a breakthrough internet communications device. Well, first of all, one's very fortunate if you get to work on just one of these in your career. 3 things: a widescreen iPod with touch controls, a revolutionary mobile phone, and a breakthrough internet communications device. These are not 3 separate devices. This is one device.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sure, you could argue that a Samsung phone has a better camera technology, facial recognition, more space, more battery power, and even processing speed, but your average person won't care. In the Western world, or the first world, we often have the luxury to choose not only based on price and quality, but bragging rights. Why do people spend so much money on footwear, handbags, or jackets? It is the habit of looking rich. Not quite being rich as much as just looking like you are. Nobody wants to be overdressed, and it's seemingly impractical to carry around diamonds or gold on your clothing, in the rare chance that, they might be lost. The key is getting something that has little to no production price, something that cannot be ripped apart into pieces and still made valuable, but holds value in the eyes of the beholders specifically. This behavior has almost exclusively applied throughout history to clothes. They're showy, they're essential, and you need a lot of them. But Apple has been the first company of its kind to apply these kinds of logistics to technological devices. In the early 90s, most computers were gray, brick boxes used for processing. And if this standard had not been broken by the company, it could have gone under the shower, so to speak. So while it's easy to make fun of useless Apple products, the fact is, if Apple hadn't created an enormous amount of branding in a way that it did, and continued doing so, the effect would be lost. Once products of an expensive brand become cheaper, they lose value and reputation among those who consider themselves to be worthy of owning them. Because those who already own Apple devices are unwilling to convince themselves the money they could have used to purchase a personal computer of much greater specifications, they will often make the claim that it's the company's reputation which upholds it. For the most part, this is valid. If Apple slapped their logo into a plain old white toothbrush, you bet that people would still purchase it. But in 1997, Steve Jobs returned after being, for many years, ousted from his leadership role in the company as its CEO, and his return marked the start of Apple's recollection after nearly going to bankruptcy. Annual profits for nearly 2 years were non-existent, and the company relied on the trust of its investors to keep it going. However, large financial companies could only invest for so long until they realized it was a waste of their time. Meanwhile, Microsoft was struggling with an opposite problem. Their software was becoming more and more predominant across the United States, but it lacked competition. Concerned with the lack of ability to negotiate prices with consumers and a possible image of the monopolizer, it was willing to invest. While previously Apple had been hostile to the idea of an investment from a hostile competitor, it was not the first time the two companies had joined arms to create something. In fact, Windows itself was largely a product of Apple engineers and was now the core of Microsoft's marketing. Although Microsoft was openly skeptical of Apple's presence in producing a nearly identical product after a previous collaboration together on such efforts, it was not willing to go by unneeded. Reminder that this is the 90s, when personal computers were around for so little, most of them thought as a fad and could not grasp the concept of artificial intelligence. or even the pocket-sized processors that Apple would later become unanimous with in the modern day. So the Apple-Microsoft deal was revealed at the '97 Macworld Expo. Gates and Jobs announced a 5-year contract. Among its purposes was an updated Mac version of Microsoft Office and Microsoft's $150 million investment in Apple. Jobs largely viewed it as contrary to the notion that if Microsoft lost, Apple would win, a popular concept which largely led to lack of leadership and the downfall of the company, and within their entire systems. Apple would continue to see bumps in the road, but the release of the iMac created a playing field for them to invest in the future, and it was largely able to repay its debts and keep the status which it holds today. Maybe someday, like all companies, it will come to an end or split up into multiple. However, as of now, it's doing quite well for itself, recently becoming the most expensive company in the world, in close marks with Amazon. Alright, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. And now for the necessary bragging at the end of every one. I did a courtesy of not asking you how your day is going at the beginning. So you might consider wanting to drop a like if you truly did like this video. Every single like on a small channel like mine actually shows the amount of people that enjoy the content. If I receive less likes on a video, I will produce less of it. You are basically voting. Please do leave a comment on what you thought about my video, as well as your opinion on Apple in general. Are their products worth buying or not so quite? Do you own any? And also, please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. If you're interested, I have entire playlists saved of my older videos, much like this one. And a large thank you goes to July's Patreons, Stream Sniper, and Loaf General. This is Mongolium, signing off.
In 1984,